Because art on the whole makes things visible, art is interested in the relation between what is present and what is absent, between what is really physically there and what is not. If you've ever been taken in, even if only for a moment, by a trompe-l'oeil painting, then you'll understand art's fascination with this issue and the pleasure that comes from playing with it. This is an important area. In our everyday lives, we tend to make up our minds about what is there and what is not incredibly quickly. And once we've made up our minds, we think no more about it. This is fair enough, since if I spent my time wondering if a chair was actually a chair or just an illusion, I would never sit down. Art, however, allows me to think about the assumptions I make in ordinary life and to step back from that automatic recognition and use of objects. Take Anish Kapoor's Adam, for instance. The first time I saw this, from the other side of a large room, I saw a big lump of rock about the size of a person. I saw it very clearly. And I saw a blue rectangle which appeared to be painted on the smoothed face of the rock. When I got closer, however, I realised that the blue rectangle was actually a cavity that had been cut into the rock, and the whole of the cavity was dusted inside with this very intense blue ultramarine pigment. What I had taken to be solid turned out to be completely absent. There was nothing there. What I had thought was a wall was actually a window. This was followed by a further jolt. The cavity in the rock is carved without any corners and dusted all over with this intense pigment, which made it impossible for me to see where the cavity ended. I had the experience, as millions before and since have had, of something infinite contained in something clearly finite. The sensation is spooky and unsettling, but also pleasurable. One artist that Kapoor was thinking about when he made Adam was Yves Klein, who also used a very intense blue. In fact, he developed and copyrighted his own shade, International Klein Blue. When you look at a painting like this, you can choose whether to see it as a wall or a window. It is a concrete object, a canvas, covered in blue paint, but it is also possible to see depth there, that indeterminate, possibly infinite depth that I sensed in Kapoor's sculpture. The question of presence and absence is the same here, it's just its terms have been reversed. I could see the cavity in Adam as solid rock, and I could see, if I chose to, the solid wall of paint in Klein's picture as a window onto an infinite sky. Another artist Kapoor may have been thinking about is Barnett Newman, who made a painting also called Adam. Newman's Adam is the Adam of the Bible, the first man, and we know this because its companion painting is called Eve. Newman obviously is not trying to show us what Adam looked like, but rather the sensation of sudden, inexplicable existence. For eternity, there had been no people, and now there was one. Where there had been nothing, there was now something. The chances of this something being Adam rather than anything else were absurdly, infinitesimally tiny, and yet he existed. Newman, I think, is not interested in the literal truth of the biblical account of creation. He's interested in the sensation of existence. And although we're all born into a world that is teeming with people, our sensation of existence is pretty much the same as Adam's. The chances of that exact cluster of genes and molecules I call me being born at all are too small to calculate. And yet, here I am, something and nothing, presence and absence. For Newman, the fact of existence is absolutely astonishing. The sensation of being this rather than that implies a separation, a gap, an absence that surrounds presence and allows it to be. I want to finish with one last and much more famous picture of Adam that deals with some of the same questions. Michelangelo shows us the moment of creation. This is a painting with a before and after. Before this, no people. After, all of human history. Adam comes into existence as God withdraws from him. Only when Adam is separate from God can he be said to truly, independently exist. Michelangelo shows us that moment of separation. God's hand has just left Adam's, and Adam, therefore, has just come into being. Between those two fingers, the gap is tiny, and yet it is also an unbridgeable gulf. All of human history is there in that gap, from eating the forbidden fruit to the invasion of Ukraine. All the massacres and cruelties and injustice, as well as the dream that one day this might all be made good. The gap between one finger and another, between one colour and another, between one thing, anything, and another, implies a whole world. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe.